My mom looked me in the eye and said, "We used your college fund for your sister's IVF." I looked right back at her, let a bead of silence hang in the air, and answered with one word: refund. That single word was the spark that ignited a wildfire in my family. It was the moment everything we'd swept under the rug for years finally exploded. Welcome to the story of how my life, my future, and my family fell apart, and how I started to piece it all back together, one confrontation at a time. For as long as I could remember, my college fund was this sacred thing. It was my ticket out, my path to a future I'd meticulously planned. My parents always talked about it with such pride. "Camila is going to do great things," they'd say at family gatherings. "We've been saving since she was born." I believed them. I studied hard, got the grades, and did everything right, all with the promise of that fund waiting for me. But as high school graduation approached, a strange silence fell over the topic. Whenever I brought it up, my parents would get evasive. "We'll talk about it later," my mom would say, or my dad would quickly change the subject. A knot of anxiety started to form in my stomach. Something was wrong. The day I got my acceptance letter to my dream university should have been one of the happiest days of my life. I ran into the living room, waving the letter, my heart pounding with excitement. But instead of cheers and hugs, I was met with heavy silence. My mom, my dad, and my older sister, Chloe, were all there, looking like they were at a funeral. That's when my mom dropped the bomb. She couldn't even look at me at first. She just stared at her hands and mumbled, "Camila, we need to talk." She finally looked up, her eyes filled with a strange mix of guilt and defiance, and said those words that shattered my world. "We used your college fund for your sister's IVF." Time seemed to stop. The air was sucked out of the room. My sister Chloe, who had been struggling with infertility for years, wouldn't meet my gaze. My dad just stared at the floor. The sound of my own heartbeat was deafening. All those years of saving, all those promises, all my hard work, it was all gone. And not for an emergency, not for something unavoidable, but for a choice they made behind my back. They chose my sister's dream over my future, without even asking me. The betrayal was so sharp, it was physical. It felt like a knife twisting in my gut. I looked at my mom, at the woman who was supposed to protect me, and all I could muster was that one word: refund. The aftermath was chaos. My mom burst into tears, accusing me of being selfish and ungrateful. "How could you be so cold?" she cried. "Your sister was in pain." My dad finally spoke up, trying to play peacemaker. "Camila, we were going to tell you. We were going to figure something out." But there was no figuring it out. They had spent over $100,000 my entire future without a second thought. Chloe, meanwhile, started sobbing about how I was making her feel guilty, how this was supposed to be a happy time for her. They tried to frame me as the villain, the heartless daughter who couldn't be happy for her own sister. But I wasn't buying it. This wasn't about me not supporting my sister. This was about a fundamental breach of trust, a theft. So, I began my own quiet rebellion. I didn't scream or shout anymore. I got methodical. I told them they had until the tuition deadline to pay me back. I started researching student loans, part-time jobs, and every possible scholarship, making my plans loud and clear. I stopped being the quiet, agreeable daughter. I documented everything. I made it clear that their decision had consequences, not just for me, but for our relationship. The power dynamic in our house began to shift. They had expected me to just accept it, to sacrifice my future with a sad smile. But that one word, refund, had changed everything. It was my declaration of independence. This was no longer just about the money. It was about accountability and reclaiming the future they tried to take from me. The lies were unraveling, the secrets were out, and I was finally taking control back. If this story of family betrayal hits close to home, or if you believe in fighting for what's yours, let me know in the comments. Your support means the world. Don't forget to share this video and subscribe for more real-life stories where the truth always comes to light. Thanks for watching.